Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kat, otherwise known on the internet as the Law Mistress. I see a fan out already. I'm loving it. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the host of this channel. Today, we will be heading into the Feywild. Can I say that? Is that a thing? We'll be heading into the land of fairy. That feels specific. That feels very specific. And we will be playing Eyes on the Prize, which is a 2 or 4 player game by Ira Prince, in keeping with the sort of duet theme that I've been spotlighting recently and will be over the next month or so. Usually it is a game played in pairs, either 1 pair or 2 pairs, and I do have 2 pairs with me today, but because we're streaming it, I'm going to be taking on somewhat of a facilitator role. So I will be here to draw prompts, I will keep the action moving, and I will be playing any NPCs that my lovely players find themselves interacting with. So, that's enough about me and what I'm doing. Let's go round and have our players introduce themselves. So I would like your name and your pronouns. And I would like to know what characters you will be playing, their name, their pronouns, and maybe just like pick a few words to give like a vibe, a personality vibe, I guess. Just to kind of keep the intrigue going. Let's start with, I'm going to go around in a sort of clockwise fashion. Let's start with Val.
Hi everybody, my name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all around the internet at Valiant Dorian or also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of playing Kamal Ayer, who uses he, him pronouns like myself. And the general vibe for him is that he is a clever, charming, and sharp-tongued fairy minister. And that is, I think, enough to tantalize you all for now.
Tantalizing indeed. All right, then let us head to our next player, the lovely Ava, if you would not mind introducing yourself.
Of course. Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here. I use she, her pronouns. And today I'm going to be playing the cold and regal Duchess Evangeline Malik.
Ooh. All right, Duchess. Let's head now to Anne.
Hi, I'm Anne. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Lady Elizelle of House Ashpetal, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is a I know how to speak words. Spoiled, entitled, adventurous party girl.
This is going to be me as well, so don't worry about it. Spoiled and entitled, adventurous. I love that. We've got some fantastic adjectives so far. I'm very, very intrigued to see what Gask is going to come up with. Gask, it's your turn.
Hello, my name is Gaskinair. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Brian Midler, and I use he, him pronouns. And I promise I'm a very special boy. Is that enough? Do you need more?
Promise you're a very special little boy.
Not little. I'm just
okay.
Man, I'm a special man.
I'm getting the feel of this character just from this interaction.
Okay.
All right, Brian
that.
Midler. Probably like my favorite character name. Well, thank you, players, for introducing yourself. Just a couple of things before we get started. First up, safety/content warnings. We are hoping for this to be a very light-hearted game with maybe a little bit of fluffy romance in there. But if you do feel like at any point we are touching upon something that is not something you vibe with, I will absolutely encourage you to protect your own headspace. Thank you for your support, but please do feel free to scoot off the stream. I won't take it personally, I promise. The other thing that I would like to point out is that we are running a giveaway for this game. And I'm hoping that it's working, because I always have this fear with Moobot that it's just going to like not work. But if you would like to enter, then all you need to do is type in !enter, and it should tell you that you have entered. That is for a chance to win a digital copy of Eyes on the Prize. And I will be getting in contact with the winner with an itch code should you win. Let's see. I don't know if anyone's actually done it yet. But anyway, yes, !enter to enter that. With that being said, how are we feeling, players? Are we ready? Are we ready to start? I've already seen that Ira is in the chat, so thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor to have you here, and we can't wait to get started playing this game. All right. So it is a beautiful and sunny day in the summer court, and an exceptionally busy one too. All over the various kingdoms of the fair folk, there has been excited chatter about an upcoming party hosted by a very, very reclusive Archfey. They are known, or were known once, for their short temper, their passion, their even shorter attention span, and in recent decades, they have become famed for their melancholy that seems to have struck them. It's said that they fell in love with a soldier who has gone to fight, and now they pine day after day for the return of said love. Once, a party thrown by this Archfey would not have been unusual in the slightest, but now it is a very rare event, and this is not an ordinary party. Carriages upon carriages line the road leading to the palace. Lady Elazelle and Brian, you are inside a carriage, sort of waiting in line as you're kind of coming in through the gates. This might be the last chance that you get to go over the plan, to rediscuss sort of what exactly it is that your motivations here. So I would like to see the two of you have a brief conversation as the carriage kind of comes in into the main courtyard, about exactly what it is that you're going to do while you're here.
So, listen, this Archfey is all about partying, okay? Now, as long as we can impress them and, show that we're having a good time, they're not going to ask questions. And
But what if they do ask questions?
I trust you. You'll figure out the right thing to say in the moment. Just make sure you stick to the story, okay? And I mean, how like nobility work in your world, right? Like, I haven't been to your world before, but like, if you can get people to believe that you're, some kind of fancy pants special human, they'll buy into it. They'll eat that up. It'll be like, ooh, fascinating. So that'll be really great.
Okay, yeah.
This is on the party, right? That's why we're here. You're gonna win this, and you are gonna take me to a different party outside this.
My cousin's wedding, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, party. That is the motivation. We are going to party our way out of here.
Party. Yeah.
Party.
What kind of dance moves do you guys have here in the Feywild? I don't want to seem like a dork or something.
I mean, it entirely depends on this Archfey's whims. Like, if it's like a really stuffy, fancy party, we tend to do the really fancy, like, partner dances.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. The Archfey doesn't tend to favor the dances of the youths.
Okay.
So
So, like,
this-
is it a little too hot and wild if I do my little, shimmy?
oh, I don't know. We're gonna have to ease that in, see how
Okay.
they feel about it. I mean, but okay. When you get to like Archfey status, it implies a certain amount of years of existence. So I don't know what the vibe is because I've
20?
never.
20 years of existence?
I mean, I don't know what the equivalent human years are, but Archfey implies old, so we'll play it safe on that regard. We don't want to do scandalous dance moves right off the bat.
What
Yeah.
I will say is, as you kind of look around and you're pulling in, you see the way that everything is dressed, you see kind of the way that the building is. You would both know that this party has been inspired by mortal society. Normally, parties in the Feywild are like very, rambunctious, chaotic affairs, but this one has been inspired by a sort of very like how this Archfey seems to understand that mortal society works. Brian, this looks to be a mortal society from a number of centuries ago. You're not sure how long ago this Archfey was last in the mortal realm.
It's a throwback,
but sort of the Regency era vibes going here doesn't seem all that modern in the slightest. Everyone is dressed up as if they were straight out of Pride and Prejudice, to be honest.
Oh,
That's
well,
kind of
Brian
what-
is a huge Austen fan for sure.
Okay, so then Ellie is just like, yeah, no, this is definitely not a modern fairy party. Otherwise, we'd be having an entirely different conversation. But I think it's just because this Archfey is really old and is into old stuff.
Maybe they're just a fan of
Vintage.
literature.
Yeah. Sure. Honestly, I can't say that I've read any
Maybe I'll be
literature.
the expert here.
Hey, listen, if it's in your wheelhouse, it'll help us sell this. That's the important part. Because honestly, all I've got is wild fairy parties, and I don't think this is it, actually. So I'm perfectly willing to take your lead on this.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So and just give us a brief sort of physical description. What do Ellie and Brian, what do they look like?
If you were in a character creator for Accountant Simulator and you hit randomize, I think that's how Brian would look.
Fantastic. Great. Okay, I completely picture. Perfect.
Ellie is sharing like her interpretation of what would be appropriate in Regency era, but it is a sleeveless, like way too short version, because she's done like the fairy party girl version of a Regency era dress. So it's like so it like shows a whole bunch of leg in a way that it's not supposed to, and it's like the shoulders but no sleeves. It's just like
positively scandalous.
yeah,
Brian's
right.
suit
It's
is one size too big for him. Just a little off.
Oh, Brian, so much. Okay. So your carriage pulls up. You are ushered inside alongside many other sort of couples and groups of lovers. The place is filled with doting sighs and murmured affections. everyone here wants to be seen to be very much in love with whoever they are attending with. And shortly after, as you are announced in as the Lady Elizel of House Ashpetal, and the announcer, as they kind of like read through this list, looks a little. So sorry, my cat just had an absolute. It's okay. Just looks a little confused as they kind of like read through the paper, and they're just like, Lady Elizel of House Ashpetal and Brian Mibler.
Perfect pronunciation, thank you.
And leaves it there. And you hear sort of whispers amongst the guests immediately. The Lady Elizel is attending and seems to have brought with them a lover, a mortal. How curious. And as that kind of conversation evolves, there are varied whispers of, oh, well, if Lady Elizel is attending, we wonder if the Duchess from the rival house of the Celestials will be attending also. And with that, we sort of pan back to this line of carriages as another carriage sort of pulls in. And my wonderful Lady Evangeline and Kamal, please, you have moments before you are to set foot outside this carriage.
I don't want to be here.
Kamal leans forward, and he is this dark-skinned young man with a kind of like smattering of curly hair upon his head. He has these bright eyes and the typical pointed ear of a very political minister. He's got these beautiful, gorgeous earrings on one ear. And he leans forward towards you, Evangeline, and just says, I know, my dear. This is a very, very intense time.
So intense. I already have a headache.
It's just for a moment, just for a day. The people will whisper, certainly. They are expecting you, undoubtedly. And I have heard from my own sources that Lady Elizel is meant to be making an appearance as well. So how can we not make an appearance ourselves? I know, but think. One appearance, you silence them all. One appearance, our scheme goes through. One appearance, and we silence all the rumor mongers.
Your words are so poetic, it's sickening. I appreciate it so much. Evangeline just like leans back. As a member of the Celestial Court, she has this very grandiose halo above her head, draped in a finery that looks very Regency, but also slightly akin to Roman inspired clothing as well, like a weird hybrid of the two. Her face and features give be not afraid, but not in the fact that it will melt your eye sockets, be not afraid, but it's just the be not afraid of you're too beautiful. I am not allowed to look at you. It's illegal type of be not afraid. Very beautiful bronze skin, golden eyes, long, flaming, wild black hair. And she seems to be just nursing a headache, almost like one of her like one of the many eyes that she could just flare out into is about to just pulsate at any moment. Oh God, I forgot she's there.
I think Kamal
Why?
notices.
Oh,
I think Kamal notices your discomfort, and I think he taps against the window of the driver of our carriage, and signals them to lower the blinds even further so that you are shielded from the light outside. And he goes towards a pouch or the corner of the carriage, picks up a glass of water and hands it to you. And I believe, in true fairy terms, the water is sparkling like the freshest dew off of the morning, the morning dewdrops of a plant. And he hands it over to you, thoughtfully, carelessly, and your radiant beauty affects him just as much, if not even more so, than everyone else who lays upon you. He also dares not look upon you for too long. And he kind of smiles and averts his gaze. I understand. It is going to be a lot of maneuvering, and I know you do not care for the affairs of court. But that's why you have me. That's why we're doing this together. It is a couple affair. You will not be by yourself, and, well, so long as we handle the competition, this will hopefully be the last time you'll ever be expected to do this, my Duchess.
One can simply hope. Honestly, I am just so fortunate to have you as a friend here in this situation. Imagine if you were to be an enemy or a stranger or some human named Brian. Oh, can you imagine?
I have heard whispers of some of the other couples attempting to bring a mortal in, the allure of forbidden fruit. I do not know if anyone would be taking that particular gambit this time round with our Archfey. I think that's just a foolish, risky gambit to be taking.
Harlot behavior.
Yeah, you would definitely, I think, know that this Archfey, as much as they are sort of in this bout of melancholy right now, they once were famed, obviously, for their temper and their passion. And so, given the nature of this party and the reason why you're all here, should any couple attending be found to be in any way not really a couple, truly that would be potentially enough to provoke this Archfey's wrath, that famed wrath that people have waited centuries long to see. And with that, your carriage pulls up, and you sort of, as you sort of step out, you make your way past, the weeping and the sighing and the dramatic love that is being expressed between various people. And you two are announced into the hall, which is this gorgeous sort of resplendent palace. Very, or so you have heard, it is inspired by the realm of mortals to give it this sort of strange, ethereal, almost weird sort of structure, which you're very unused to, but beautiful in its own way. You've heard it's very on vogue, very on mode for what the mortals are into right now in this century, and inspired by some very contemporary writers of theirs, such as sort of Bronte and Austen and such, and you it's gorgeously decorated. There are flowers, there's sort of gold gilded inlay everywhere, sunflowers sort of beam out, all very summery imagery, and as you're announced in, you kind of look around. You can see this Archfey sitting upon a throne, very much not looking the mood of the party. All around him is sort of like revelry and laughter and love. The Archfey themselves is the summer liege is sort of sitting there, wine goblet in hand, gazing off into the distance, looking quite honestly thoroughly bored. And you are announced in. The moment that you are, and this announcer sort of clears their throat, and sort of the Lady Evangeline of the Celestial Court, and their paramour, the Minister Kamal. Whereas Brian and Ellie kind of provoked conversation, I think the room sort of falls silent for a moment. Whether because this was something they had expected and at last it has come to light, or something completely unexpected. You would see friends, potential enemies of ambition, looking very put out and very confused by this. And so the two couples here, have definitely caused a stir in one way or another. And you enter, and you're kind of one of the last couples to come in, so you've definitely made your dramatic entrance. And as you do, this announcer, sort of very short, like pixie, hops up onto a stool, clears their throat. Ladies and gentlemen and all in between, we are gathered. We are gathered here. I believe that everybody has arrived, and the party will commence as of 3, 2, 1 now. The party has started. You may all party. You may all, in the name of our liege, of our summer liege, who has been much sick with melancholy and heartbreak, and all around them these sort of like nymphs of sun, kind of like kind of looking very sad and upset. And this monarch just looks absolutely, they're not even paying attention to what this announcer is saying. But not to worry. They seek to be inspired. They seek to gaze upon a union filled with so much love, so much commitment. Should one of you couples present such a thing, well, a boon will no doubt be cast upon the lucky couple. So, with that being said, the party's off we go, party!
Hooray!
You are in the party, and with that introduction aside, we shall now begin our game.
Oh my god.
So, for those of you in the chat that are wondering how on earth this game might work, essentially we have two couples here. They are sort of playing against each other. They are in a union of sorts, and they have a prize that they are trying to win. They will be judged throughout the game in 3 categories. We will be earning and dispensing of tokens in the categories of suspicion. So should they do something that might be provoking suspicion, then they will gain tokens in that. The category of plot, which I'm sure is anything that's sort of remotely dramatic that seems to be affecting the story, and affection, whether they are beginning to grow affection for each other. Once we reach 10 tokens of one of these categories for each couple, we will figure out how their story ends. And it will be obviously my lovely players playing this game and answering prompts that I draw. So let us begin. I am doing so with a deck of cards. By the way, I have chosen an excellent deck of cards for this. It is from Joku Playing Cards. And look, these are the jokers. I had to pull the jokers out, but they are pretty, right? And I just was like, this feels like it fits the theme very well. So we're gonna go with those. So let us see. We're gonna head over to Elizel and Brian first. And we will see exactly what we've got. Oh my goodness. Well, we've started off strong because you are immediately facing your
card
first marital trial.
Yeah.
I mean, your entrance has like obviously caused such a stir. I've got a little D12 here that I'm going to use to kind of to figure out which marital trial you are facing.
Oh no.
So a face card, for those of you at home, provokes a sort of marital trial, which is a kind of like a sort of little mini game or a little challenge that our couples are going to face. I am going to...
Don't worry, I'm great at Mario
Oh, this
Party.
is a pretty good one. So this one is named Trial by Friend Group.
Uh-oh.
I'll read it out. Obviously, the ones who care about you want to see who the hell has swept their friend so thoroughly off their feet, and they have high standards. Each partner should roll a d8. The lower roll is the one being interrogated. So I believe that probably this is going to be Lady Elizel's friends rather than any of Brian's friends being here. But whether they're going to
friends plural
put all of their questions on Brian or whether they're going to put all of their questions on Ellie. If you roll doubles, a combo troop from both your social circles have arrived for inspection, and token changes are doubled.
Oh wait,
so what I would
do we get to meet Brian's friends if we roll the same number? Is that
no,
what
no?
that
Brian's friends will not be here at the Archfey one.
They just
But it's whether they're going to be grilling you or Brian, which is the question.
Okay.
So, all right. So, if you would like to roll a d8 for me, please.
5.
I rolled an 8, not me.
And 8. So it is Brian that's going to be absolutely grilled. By these friends of yours. So tell me, Ellie, who do you think that these friends might be of yours that might come over? Obviously, they're going to be a sort of a couple or a sort of group of lovers that have been invited. But tell me what you think that they might be.
So there is a small group that Ellie knows. There's three couples, and she knows that basically trying to game the game because she knows that the 6 of them are actually like one giant fairy polycule, so they've split off into couples to like increase their chances to win, right? So
love it.
They are like young fairy, so they're dressed in like not necessarily full regency, are showing less skin than Ellie, like they're still, somewhat covered. You can see a little bit of skin on them as they're trying to push the boundaries, but they're in it to win it, so they're not as taking risks about it, so they're trying to play by the rules but also still have fun. The polycule that's trying to game the game.
So there's 6 of them, you said?
Yeah.
And they've split off into 3 pairs.
3
couples.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. So I'm just going to check. Yes. So I think that your combined totals. So you rolled a 5 and...
So 13.
So
and
13.
8.
So, well, that's good news. Because Brian, this is going to work out for you. Okay. The interrogated spouse has utterly charmed the curious companions. So what we will be sort of role playing is how and why. I guess one friend leans over asking why in the world you didn't get together sooner, and that suddenly seems like a good question. So you kind of together, and this is like murmuring is sort of happening all over and your friends immediately sort of swarm forward. You are somewhat of a party animal, Ellie, so obviously you attract lots and lots of people to you like butterflies, and they come sort of coming in there. They're just like, oh, Ellie, it's so good to see you here. I had no idea you were coming.
Last minute decision. I just really thought this would be an interesting to enjoy. It would be improper of me to say no to an Archfey.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And who is this? And they all just swarm around you, Brian. Like they're like circling vultures all of a sudden. They're just kind of like looking you up and down. They're just like a
Hello.
mortal Ellie, positively scandalous.
My better half, Mr. Brian Mibler. I figured that
Hi.
this party.
Mibler was a perfectly charming surname.
Thank you. I got it from my dad.
And they just kind of like all start laughing. They're just like really charmed by it. And one of them just goes, "It's such a good thing that we're operating under such strict rules here, Brian. You shouldn't really have given us your full name."
But oh yeah, the face stuff, right? But I am
The
under her
Fae
protect.
stuff! And they're just like laughing again, like they just like looking at each other like it's the funniest thing they've ever heard.
We've entreated with the Mibler clan, and yes, as a matter of fact, Mr. Mibler is under my protection.
Under your protection, of course, naturally we would presume nothing less. We're just joking. And they're kind of like smiling. But better keep it hush, you know, there are less kind ears around.
Well, I've already promised everything else to Ellie over here, so why not my name as
Ellie!
well?
He's already calling her Ellie! And they're just like smacking each other's shoulders.
Well, keep the whole game thing quiet. I won't tell anyone you guys are trying to game the system.
Possibly wouldn't know what you're talking about, Ellie. What an absurd notion. And they're just
of course not.
laughing and like nudging each other. They look at you, Brian, and they go, "So tell me, how did the two of you meet?"
It was destiny, yeah.
Destiny?
Back in my world, you know, one of those, I don't know if you know what an oracle is. You might have them here in the Feywild.
We have oracles here in the Feywild, yes. Oh, it's really cute.
Ours might work a little different, but they told me that I was to go to the woods and that I would find a beautiful, splendid archway there, and the first person I laid my eyes on after I entered in, that would be my betrothed.
And one of them sort of steps forward. Definitely, you would know, Ellie. This is the quieter, more observant. This is the friend you really have to impress. The others are a little more flighty and a little more easily impressed. This is the one that's kind of is going to be listening and really is the most judgmental one of this group. And she goes, "An archway, really? How intriguing! And tell me, I mean, it's just so adorable, truly it is, that you've chosen to give up all of your mortal life and freedom just to come here and spend it with our Ellie."
Well, the oracle did say that we would unite our two material or planes in, you know, peace and prosperity. So I think it's only a temporary sacrifice for now.
Ellie, are you quite sure about that? Ellie has many duties here as a member of the noble class. I'm sure you know all about that back in your world with your. And she kind of gestures around at castles and hedge mazes and things.
Yeah. I'm very noble in my end of the my side of the street. Haha.
Is the Mibler family an important family?
Yeah, one of a kind. Mibler, I don't know if you know the etymology of it, but it has royal connotations.
One of a kind. I can't say I do. Royalty, truly, Ellie. How lucky for you to have been to have stumbled upon the royal Miblers of the mortal realm. It must be fate.
I mean, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time as Brian entered through the archway, and as the prophecy foretold, the mortal prophecy foretold, the first person he saw would be his betrothed, and I just happened to be there. I mean, I think I'm the best one for the job, and yeah, our true purpose in this is to unite our clans and to unite our worlds. So well, it's at least somewhat for political gain to understand how nobility works.
Truly, truly the best one for the job, though not necessarily going to win tonight. And then kind of looks around at sort of the other five. We have a pretty good chance. One might say that our odds are triple yours. And
Odds have no recourse against destiny.
oh, and they're just kind of like fanning themselves again. Like that's the cutest thing. All right, I guess we'll kind of leave the scene there, but you have utterly and thoroughly charmed these friends, Ellie. So
Yeah.
you passed your first marital trial. Fantastic.
Nibbler charm.
And with that comes +3 affection. So I guess explain to me sort of as you're like kind of charming them, do you feel like maybe you're a little bit swept up in the charm as well? Because you kind of come with this affection too.
I think that Brian isn't used to being treated as interesting. So he's definitely getting swept up in this.
Ellie,
I think that this is the most you've ever seen Brian talk.
Ellie is committed. Like, she is supporting Brian. That's how motivated she is, right? So she is doing her best to, support whatever Brian is doing and not like undermine him or anything, just make him look good. So she's just pleasantly surprised about how well that went. Like the first from go. It's like, this is going better than I thought. I like this confidence on Brian.
Confidence from Brian. Ooh.
Like it's a good look on him because just it felt good, and so I'm into that. Love that.
All right. So in this game, if you have 0 in something, and because you also achieved -2 suspicion, you've kind of allayed some suspicion on you, but you already had 0. So the way this game works is that negative of something becomes plus something else. So in this instance, negative suspicion becomes plus plot. So what you have managed to achieve here is a very, very strong start with +3 affection and +2 plot. So let's fill that in real quick, and then we shall move on and see how our other couple fare.
Can't keep a good nibbler down. Let's go.
Can I just say, like, at the end of that, like, Ellie just says to Brian, hey, why don't you show me how they dance in this era, this Regency era, and just pulls Brian to the dance floor and lets him lead.
Brian, whose only experience is like white people dancing at a wedding, is probably standing on your toes a few times, but is trying his best.
Fantastic. This is fantastic. All right. With that being said, let's draw our next card and figure out what the lovely Evangeline and Kamal are doing. So I have drawn the 5 of diamonds, which is a pretty little flower in the middle there. So let's see what that means for you.
Haha, you didn't get a face card in a trial right out the gate. You guys got a normal one.
Fine.
All right, well, hold on. Let's not
We're
get
slow
too
burn.
cocky now. 5 of diamonds. Okay, so I mean, it's not a strong start.
A slow burn.
so
It's okay.
Slow burn.
it's okay. It's okay.
We're what the
So
girlies
fun
want.
fact,
A slow burn,
you
hurt comfort pairing, obviously.
you commit a terrible faux pas. What was it? Why didn't you know any better? And how does your spouse try to draw attention away? So I guess this is more of a question than anything. Which of you do you think would be the one to commit the faux pas? And which of you is the one drawing attention away?
This is honestly a coin flip. It depends on which angle we want to play in.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Duchess who doesn't really attend to the affairs of court that commits the faux pas, or the minister who's an Icarus flying too close to the sun?
Yes, I love that comparison.
So, like, which angle do you want to be? Are you pulled to one or another, Ava?
I kind of like the Icarus angle.
I agree. No, I'm feeling it. Yeah, I think the faux pas that that Kamal commits in this particular regard is that he attempts to, because a lot of this scenario is about impressing the Archfey through action, through the way you're maneuvering around the space. Kamal's doing the thing where he wants to know what's going on. He wants to know who the players are. And talking too much to the other people rather than his own spouse, I think, is the chink in the armor here of like, oh, I'm committing an unintentional faux pas, and he doesn't know better because he knows the name of the game in political fake courts, not in this particular Archfey's realm of the battle of proving one's love. So I think that's why he commits that faux pas. So he's just like milling about the room and chatting to a bunch of different people rather than chatting to Evangeline.
And I think obviously Evangeline is gonna have to be the one that tries to cover this up. So I think it's at this point, as sort of you're walking around, talking to various people, trying to understand the lay of the room, and you do gain some information. You gain the most important piece of information that you gain, and that you would probably kind of glance across the room to see this other interaction happening, is that your main rival, the Lady Eliselle, has attended this event. And not only that, that risky maneuver that you did not see coming has absolutely been put into play. Lady Eliselle is here with their one true love, a mortal, a chosen, fated mortal of destiny that was chosen by the oracle of their world to bring peace and prosperity between. So at this point, Kamal, you realize, well, shit, they've got a better story than us right off the bat. That is a much better story. Never mind the fact that you two have had this kind of like growing friendship and people have been whispering and rumors. Are they going to get together? Are they not? There's been all of that. Immediately that is out the window. People are absolutely fascinated by this mortal, and probably that's what causes you to take your eye off the ball, to try to get more information about what's going on. That slight panic of like, oh my goodness, how do I recover from this? You would hear Evangeline nearby, sort of group of people talking, and they'll kind of include you in the conversation and just be like, "Well, that's a little rude, isn't it? Your beau seems most distracted, Evangeline."
Oh, please, don't mind my beloved in ever so slightest. I know that there tends to be differences between the fairy courts and the celestial courts, but there is one thing that we both, I painfully admit, have so much in common about, and it is how much we love to peacock. You see, I understand with the Fae that we love to just gallivant, show off, make sure that we keep eyes on us at all times. Well, Celestials are no different. The means of how we do so are quite different. We share it in our charitable and our honorable work, making sure that we are worshipped wherever we go. But at the end of the day, isn't Kamal doing exactly what he needs to do to make sure that he pleases me and makes me happy by going out, speaking with the folk, and telling them of my family's charitable work? I think he is the most precious and truest partner I could ever have.
That was an insanely good recovery. I will say that I think as well, Kamal, just to kind of bring you on the same level, you would sort of come away from these questions and you would see that Evangeline is having this conversation and desperately trying to kind of cover for you.
Yeah.
So with that, you do gain one suspicion. People are a little bit suspicious. You've come in, you come in and you're supposed to be this unit and you've immediately sort of split off, and that's a bit odd and a bit suspicious in a party that's literally dedicated to love and affection. So we will pop you at one suspicion. And we will move back to Ellie and Brian, and we will see where they're at.
Another trial.
Nope. 3 of diamonds. So one of you can decide which is the person that has this. You have a pet peeve, one of you does, and your spouse keeps doing it. As you're kind of engaged in these conversations, people are kind of swarming around you. They all, now that your friends have kind of come by and given their sort of like seal of approval, now other people are swarming around and kind of having this conversation, like sort of between dances. But what is, which of you has the pet peeve and which of you is the one that keeps doing it?
Do you have an idea for either way?
I don't know, but I think it would be funny if Brian was the one with the pet peeve.
Yeah.
And just like Ellie, I don't know, being really oblivious to it. Just
yeah.
I don't know. What's the vibe with Brian as they're
What would
moving along in the
off?
crowd? Question. I'd love to get inside the chosen one's brain.
Yeah.
Please don't call it the chosen one. Brian Midler, chosen one. I should have put that in the little like name thing on the overlay.
Yeah, Jen's on it right now, I'm sure. It's swapping between...
Jen, our beloved producer, is on it right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think it's gotta be during like one of our dinners or something. You just keep like picking off of Brian's plate, like you feel entitled to it. You're just like, oh, that looks nice. I'll have that, and I'll have that, and I'm like, but you could have ordered your own. You could get your own. It's a buffet. It's a magical buffet. It's a magical buffet, and you're not getting your own.
It's just refilling itself.
But
every time you go to grab something. I really love the idea that Elle is always trying to be like, oh, look at all these interesting foods. Do they have this in your realm? It's delicious. But instead of like letting you try it, she's just
definitely
eating it herself.
delicious. Yup, this stuff's really good too. Oh, and this?
Oh.
Yum.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah. Oh, I don't know if you have this.
No,
you have this?
Yeah, it looks a little savory. Yeah, I would love to try.
Yeah, delicious. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we always have these at like every party. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So that just, I guess, while we're on a break from like socializing, we're at one of the tables. This is what's happening.
Having some food. Yeah,
it's like the modern equivalent of like, oh, and like, do you want a side with that? And then you're like, yeah, I'll have like a plate of chips, and then the other person, or fries, I guess, if you're American, if you're weird.
I
And then the other.
I'm Australia adjacent, so I understand what you're trying to say. It's fine.
Yeah,
You
and then
are you trying to cause a riot right now, Gask?
yeah. This is British time zone time.
I will
Tom!
remind you that our beloved producer is American. I'm just gonna remind you that.
Smash cut to producer reaction cam.
Eagle screech?
It's just
Do not enter the burb. Do not enter the burb. They'll turn the burb. They'll turn this. They'll turn the stream around.
But yeah, essentially it's like I ordered my own side of chips and then your date or whatever doesn't order theirs. They're like, no, I'm fine. I don't need anything. But then they keep picking off your plate. That's exactly what's happening.
All right. So that okay. So that being said, I have removed one of your affection tokens. I do just want to quickly ask, Brian, do you just let it happen, or do you do something to try to stop the lady from
No,
eating the
I
food?
think Brian just lets it happen. I think that's the kind of Brian is.
Brian.
I think at some point she just stops because she's like, okay, not very ladylike. I'm gonna stop now, but like.
Maybe one of your friends like comments and it sees the irritation where you don't see it, and it's just like, maybe we should let Brian try the foods.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's okay.
Realizing there's an audience, she just, they've got a point.
And then you become really uncomfortable because you're staring at Brian while he eats them because you're finished. You're just like, so how did that taste?
pretty much, yeah. We are so dysfunctional. It's great.
All right, let's move back to our other couple. While food shenanigans, not necessarily the fun kind, are taking place. So we will head back to our other couple. I have drawn for you the 4 of clubs.
Ooh.
So let's find clubs. Okay. So, everyone in this kind of area, you've kind of come back together.
Yes.
Everyone in this area, this corner of the salon, is going around a circle and sharing their most embarrassing stories. And you are both roped into this. What stories do you tell, and are they true? And I think it's kind of said in a way of just like, oh, the 2 of you are so, shut off. Come on, there must be something. There must be some flaw. Look at the 2 of you, so perfect, so pristine in every manner. There's got to be something. Give us something. Kind of like joking manner, but their eyes are on you. They're expecting you to say something.
Embarrassing stories. I think this moment kind of happens immediately after the faux pas. So this is when Kamal has probably, with your permission, Evangeline, hooked his arm alongside yours, and profusely apologizes. Eventually, my dear, it seems I've committed an unseen error, but I did derive some really important information that there indeed is a mortal. Elizella has indeed found a fated mortal with a fated origin here to, what I hear, unite our worlds, to quote.
Please tell me his name is not Brian.
His name is indeed Brian.
Oh, a chosen name, Brian.
A chosen name. A chosen name,
How far the
Brian,
mortals have
from
fallen.
the clan Nibbler.
Oh, I haven't seen such a travesty since the fall of Rome. Tragic.
I know.
Well, it's their fated. I don't have to deal
Yeah.
with that too much.
No, and I think this is probably when we kind of like, as we're trying to like have this conversation and we're huddling around the
Pulled in.
salon, we're pulled into this. Um, oh, embarrassing story. My dear, you have any to share?
Immediate delegation. I love it.
Well, one does come to mind. It was early in our courting where we were by the lakeside. As some of you know, us Celestials with our grandiose and magnificent wings, some of us have a difficulty when it comes to water, and one of the rambunctious kids from the orphanage got a bit too rowdy, and I ended up falling in rather dramatically and rather raggedly. But my dear Kamal was able to fish me out, even though I was not as perfect as I wished to be. But as long as the children were happy, who am I to complain? Her family runs charity works.
Is this true? This is important for me to know.
Is this a
Is
true
this
story?
It's true. It's true.
Okay, fantastic. Because I think Kamal knows the exact follow-up for this, where he kind of, and I think it comes out kind of unconsciously, where he kind of just says, "Well, hold on, my dear. If I remember correctly, I may have caught you and helped you out in that regard, but I myself stumbled over my own long celestial robes," and I think he like gestures to like the hem of this long robe that he wears to gesture the same type of robe that he probably wore that day. And I just skidded across the ground, you tightly in my arm, but lest anyone else know, I twisted my ankle and shoved my foot deeper into the soil.
Oh, you are so correct. So many moments with you, they just tend to blur.
They do, they do. And that story is also true.
Incredible. As you are reliving this actually very real memory, I do have a question. There is a mechanic in this game of just, each of these prompts, some of them have like +2 of suspicion, -1 of affection, and things like that. But there is a mechanic which is if you feel like your affection for your partner does grow, you can just add an affection at any time, at any point, if you feel like during a conversation or a prompt that happens. So as you're reliving this memory, do you feel like it does actually grow in any way?
I could see it, yeah.
I see it, yeah. At least on Kamal's end, as someone who's kind of worked with Lady Evangeline as a minister and as a friend and a friendship that's been growing, like being the care and protectiveness that he does have is very much real. And I think this kind of moment of like sharing the memory kind of elucidates that.
I just
a
thought
little
it was
bit more.
interesting that you both ended up, you come in and you're like, we're going to have this really big deceit and it's a lot of lies and it's going to be, but that's our game and that's how we
Immediately
do it.
tell the truth.
And then you ended up sharing a story that actually was real and true, and you're like, huh.
The
like,
greatest deception has an ounce of truth in it.
Okay, but they were true stories, but were they truly your like most embarrassing stories, or were you?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Oh God, no! No one needs to know that.
Okay,
that
so
is
it is
between
that is
me and the Celestial Church. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That is
Alright.
between me and the Celestial Confessional. Thank you.
Exactly.
What happens in the celestial court stays in the celestial court.
Exactly.
I imagine. I imagine Elizel seeing this going on and just like steering both her right away from the embarrassing story thing.
Yes.
Just like, no.
No, we are not going over to that corner.
A secondhand in embarrassment, just let's go.
All right, and as you're kind of watching Brian eat food intently, and thinking about the fact that you did just slightly, you're a little bit jumping the gun in your excitement and your enthusiasm. Your eyes sort of cast over to the corner of the room, and you can see Lady Evangeline and Kamal, and they seem to be laughing. They seem to be having a good time, and the people around them are laughing, and they're definitely this is the spark. You always kind of maybe thought, oh, is that actually a real thing? Is their friendship even real? But there does seem to be some genuine something there. And we'll go back to you two. So it's another marital trial. You two are killing it with the marital trials. What on earth?
Let's go.
All right. It's a king for a marital trial. So let's
We're
have a look. I'm gonna just
really
roll.
being tested here.
You two are being tested. Right.
Oh, I have this really fancy random D8. Does this not look like it would be a Regency themed, like flowery, appropriate?
Very
D8?
pretty, yeah.
All right. Everyone that is kind of crowded around you and asking questions, suddenly someone sort of comes forward with the question, now, are you two pretending to be married or engaged or just a couple is my question for you.
I think engaged might be the best.
Yeah.
Like betrothed.
All right. So I'm going to say everyone wants to know the one flaw in your plan that you hadn't come up with. What was the proposal story? You hadn't decided upon this. You've been so caught up in the chosen one destiny of your first meeting and how that's going to come about, and all of this will come up. Suddenly, everyone wants to know. Oh yes. Who proposed? How did it happen? I would like you both to roll. So better come up with something quick. Roll 2d8. So each
Both
roll
rolling
a D8.
two? Oh,
Yeah,
each
roll
roll
a
a
D8
D8.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah, each of you.
I hope. Oh no, Gask, your face. I'm
Gask made a face, and I am
1
thrilled.
and 5. So 6. Huh. Okay. So you are caught entirely off guard. So, and I need you both. Essentially, we're gonna do that game, where you're going to say a location of where the proposal happened, and you are going to say how long you were there, and sort of like all your activity, what you were doing in that location, and what at what point you went down on one knee, or like what moved you to go down on one knee, or like and I think that it's basically one of that game where we're gonna just go 3, 2, 1 and you're both gonna say it, and
Yeah.
see if you end up saying the same thing in any way,
Okay.
shape, or
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's simplify it actually. So let's go the location, what you ate for dinner that day,
Yeah.
and where you were when who proposed. Let's do that. Who proposed?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So 3, 2, 1 is going to be a location. Okay, ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Big tree.
by the lake.
Fantastic. So like basically we'll do that, and then like have the two of you try to recover from it. So obviously
It's a
everyone
tree
looks at
by
you.
the lake.
Yeah, a big tree overlooking the lake.
Fantastic. Okay, big tree overlooking the lake, and you were having dinner. What were you eating? 3, 2, 1.
Tuna salad.
Sandwiches.
You both say sandwiches?
I said
What?
tuna salad.
I said sandwiches.
Okay. Amazing.
Tuna salad sandwiches.
Tuna
Yes.
salad sandwiches.
No, oh, those little like tea, like it's those little tea sandwiches, right? The triangle
Yeah,
cut
a
ones.
delicacy from the mortal realm, actually.
Yeah, Yeah,
tell me, what
Brian
is
brought him
a
over.
tuna salad sandwich? I have not heard of such a thing.
Tuna and various salads and bread.
Absolutely marvelous. I can't
Yeah.
believe it.
It's been passed down
everybody's
to my
looking
family.
A bit confused just because you're both, just because one of you hasn't taken the lead and is just telling the story. You're both just kind of like yelling things. Oh right. Well, who made the proposal?
Oh no.
3, 2, 1, go.
Brian.
He did.
I think that someone kind of laughs and goes, "Are you quite sure about that? You don't seem certain." And then they kind of looking at each other, really confused.
I mean, it was like the destiny called us for that moment to propose. One of the branches bowed down to my hand and released a ring from its leaves, and that's what I proposed with, you know? So, a little unsure that if it was my intent or the universe's. Is.
Fantastic. You get +2 suspicion to mismatched response,
Yeah.
which was 2 out of the 3 because you both did say Brian at the end. Was
Yeah.
Propose. So
Okay.
I'm gonna pop 4 suspicion tokens, and the initial interest that you had around you is dying off somewhat. I think this is the best way of like as people are a bit suspicious. They're like, oh, this mortal, this chosen one. It was all very entertaining at first, but now that the responses didn't quite match up in this moment, they kind of go, oh right. Anyway, I'm going to they're kind of like finding ways to draw away from you. What we'll do, we're going to do one more pull, and then we're going to go on a break. So let's see what we get. I was actually hoping for another marital trial because they're really fun, but it's not a marital trial.
Eventually.
You could
You'll
lie.
get one eventually. All right. So 2 of diamonds. All right. So the prompt is there's something about your spouse that really reminds you of someone you knew when you were younger. What is it, and where is that old friend now? So I'll let you take the lead on this one, on your thoughts on this one, and feel free to kind of mix it up if you like.
The floor is yours.
See, I have an evil thought, so I feel like I should go towards the evil thought. Evil is calling to me.
Yeah, love it.
My evil thought is, I think, Evangeline reminds Cubble of actually, like a really, really old, like, schoolboy crush of his. And they are this sort of like incredibly driven, spirited, headstrong person, which is a trait that Kamal admires in a lot of people because that's not necessarily how he is. He is careful, he is reserved, and it has helped him survive this long. And I think it is especially because of how free-spirited and headstrong this friend of his is that they grew apart. I think they couldn't unite under any kind of like common ground or similarity for too long. And Kamal's too quiet, doesn't seize the opportunity. He waits for too long. And I think when the moment came for him to finally do something about it, this old friend of his they left the celestial court for reasons he can't remember. It's been so long since he was that young, and all that's left is just the faint whisper of a memory and maybe a whisper of his old failure.
Oh, cuts deep.
Villainy.
But that is an evil thought. So Well, my question is, does this in? I think I know the answer after that last little bit of sentence, but does this
Oh,
in
Jesus.
any way, thinking about it, I feel like this is coming from this sort of corner of this room. You're talking about embarrassing stories. You're talking about the past.
Mm.
You're talking about kind of things that,
Mm.
and it's kind of drawn you into this thought process. Does this in any way inspire affection? Or kind of inspire, I guess, sentiment or feeling in any way?
I think definitely sentimental. I think there's perhaps like a hint of gratitude, maybe, if not necessarily to himself, at least to his old friend in that moment, because that mistake long ago has brought him here now, and he is being far more courageous than his past self is in seizing an opportunity to be with Evangeline, even if it is a scheme and a ruse. His past self
It's
could not
just
even
a scheme and
imagine.
a ruse, but
Of course, I totally am not seeing the mirrors of affection through this lens right now. The sentimentality is digging deeper than I thought it would. No!
well, we're only on 2 affection. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Yeah, I suppose in this lighting, her spirit and drive is incredibly inspiring. How could it not be? She's a
What I'm
duchess.
really enjoying, I know that the 2 of you have not had a marital trial yet, but what I'm really enjoying about this is that it really looks like it kind of figures with your characters very well, in that it looks like the 2 of you are massively playing the long game of just like, we'll just slowly build
Slow
up
burn.
tensions over time, whereas the other 2 are just like, more suspicion, more plot, more.
We have yakety sax going on with us in the background.
It's so
It really
funny.
looks like the 2 of you have a game plan. All right, shall we head off to break after that?
Yes.
Does that sound good to everyone? We're going to take about a 10-15 minute break. What I'm going to just remind everyone who is watching, we have a giveaway on for this game, which is, we're having an absolute blast with it so far. Or I certainly am anyway, watching watching play. Yes, so if you just !enter all as one word, you could be in with a chance to win an itch copy, a digital copy of this game, kindly donated by Ira Prince, who is in the chat still. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you're having such a good time. I'm glad that everyone watching is having fun. And yeah, we'll probably be back just before 1:45 the hour. Yeah, see you very, very soon. Bye. Hello, everyone. We are back from our break. We are playing currently. If you have just joined us or only joined us partway through the chaos of the first half, we are playing Eyes on the Prize by Ira Prince. Moobot, I think, has been doing an excellent job of just updating and informing everyone when people are being active in chat and exactly what's going on. And before we get started back into it, I'm going to remind everyone again that we have a giveaway going for this game. It is for a digital copy of this game. And if you are enjoying it, or if you watch it and you think this looks like a really fun game, then please feel free to enter by simply typing !enter, and hopefully, if Moobot continues to be kind, that will work out for you. So that being said, let's have a little quick catch up on where we are. We have two couples, two households rival couples that are
Both alike in
attempting.
dignity.
Both alike in dignity. I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, here we go. Shakespeare in the Park, everyone. So we have two couples. They have arrived at a party. The sole purpose of the party is to try to bring the Archfey of the Summer Court out of their melancholy by inspiring them with a love full of sincerity and commitment, and that is true and honest. And what better way to do that than to lie through your teeth and pretend to be a couple when you're really not? Hopefully, if either of our couples succeeds, or both, or neither, then we will end up with an Archfey handing out a boon. But our couple should also be wary that should they be caught in their machinations, this could provoke the wrath of said Archfey. So, with that being said, where we are currently at, who is doing better? Difficult to say. I would say that our lovely Brian and Elizel have been given a bit more of a chance to do better, in that they have had more marital trials, but they have also had a few negative events that have impacted them. Equally, Evangeline and Kamal seem to be playing the long game, very in their nature, I feel, based on the kind of characters that they have come up with. As it is, we're going to head back to Elizel and Brian now. And I have pulled for you the 10 of diamonds. And it makes sense, actually. Currently, you've provoked a lot of, like, there's been a certain advancement of plot, and your schemes seem to be going well enough. And there's, some affection between the two of you is growing. Equally, you have aroused a fair bit of suspicion in some of your less well planned moments, and now you are being talked about. Everyone is talking about you, in fact. And that means that everyone seems to want to talk to you, and it's a lot of attention. Could, as our lovely other couple pointed out earlier, be dangerous, this much attention. And I think as you kind of are starting to draw this kind of level of suspicion, but also intrigue, the Archfey that is sitting on the throne, he's got a few advisors that seem to be sort of like they're sitting around them, and they're kind of like occasionally drinking out of this goblet and gazing out a window. But there's all this murmuring going on in their court. Eventually catches their eye, and for the first time since the games began, as it were, this Archfey kind of like looks up and sort of lazily casts an eye over the room just to see what's kind of going on. And momentarily, as soon as they move and to look, these advisors immediately spring upon this Archfey to kind of give them the updates. This is this person, this is this person, this is what they've been doing, this is what we've been observing. And there's a lot of talk amongst this sort of party of the hosts, really, and the royalty of this court, about the Lady Elizel and her mortal paramour have come, and he's the chosen one of their realm, and he looks momentarily, I wouldn't say he necessarily looks intrigued, but it's enough for him to kind of just cast his eye over the two of you for a moment, and then he lets out a weary sigh, and goes back to looking out the window. So you've kind of drawn some attention, which could be dangerous, but it also could offer opportunities and footholds. Tell me, how are you as a couple taking advantage of this attention, and how are you being more careful, or having to be more careful?
I think Brian would defer to Elizel here because of its Archfey attention.
Well, Okay, so it's been established that this world is typically one of whimsy and partying and fun times.
Mhm.
This particular Archfey is an anomaly of sorts in that they're kind of melancholic and bummed out about
Yeah,
something.
definitely.
So I think just really sad boy energy from this Archfey. Not feeling
Huge sad boy energy, pining, yearning, lovesick energy from this vibes from this Archfey right now.
Oh, I know
Um,
exactly what kind of playlist he's listening to right now.
Yeah.
He's got that
And-
Conan Gray people watching in his ears.
Oh my god. So what Elizel would do is go to where the music might be playing, if there's like the Fey equivalent of a DJ or a live band or something. I guess it would be a live band, and she would like try to discreetly whisper something to someone in the band of just like, hey, maybe play this song, and try to get essentially like, okay, you know how in Bridgerton they have like those pop songs that are like done in like, classical
Yes.
instrumental way?
Yes.
Basically that.
Yes.
It basically is just like a really fun it's
Well,
it's
what
slightly
it could be is
it's slightly faster than a waltz. It's more like Viennese waltz tempo, right? So it's like a little bit faster. And
it could be if this Archfey seems to be quite stuck in the past of what they think is going on with the mortals, is happening with the mortals right now. It could be that perhaps in your time spent together pre this party, Brian has introduced you to a few actual contemporary songs that are kind of fun.
in that case, it is a classical like version of Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, because it's very sad boy energy.
Yes.
And so it's a contemporary song, but it's also like
but like the classical string quartet
it's a
version of
string
it.
quartet.
Yeah,
And
I love it.
And essentially Ellie tries to like backlead Brian to like a really fancy waltz to just kind of try
I
to
feel like this one
entertain.
has like a lot of wild swings, like did it.
Okay, so as someone who has attempted to actually learn the Viennese waltz, it's very circular motion. So I imagine it might make Brian dizzy at some point if it's just circular motions.
Definitely got to be a little bit careful of making sure it seems as Brian is being portrayed as this chosen one, heroic figure.
Yeah.
But
essentially what I'm trying to do is make Brian look good, because that's Ellie's whole thing, right? So I'm making him look very elegant and awesome.
absolutely.
But also
you're
like
making it look elegant. You're bringing the party to this party,
and trying to like cheer up the Archfey. That's kind of the whole.
Yes.
I was like, I'm so sick of the sad vibes. We gotta them and make them happy again, so I can go back to regular parties, and
All right.
regular outfits.
With that being said, you do get the attention of this Archfey who has never heard this song before, ever. And so this would catch their attention. They kind of look back and they seem a little put out. The band is playing something that I did not approve or ask for. And it sort of brings them out of their reverie for a moment as they kind of pay attention. And then they see the two of you sort of having fun and dancing. With that, and it makes sense with the tokens. You gain +1 plot. You also gain +1 suspicion. In that, this is advancing your ideas. You're advancing this agenda of like, hey, look, we're in love. We're fated to be together. Amazing things happen, including, you know, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls happens when we're around. But also, the Archfey is not stupid, and can see an attempt to attract attention, I think, or an attempt from the Lady Elizelle to say, look at me, look at our love. Now, whether that will be looked upon favorably or not, I guess, because you have aroused quite a bit of suspicion over the course of this game. So I think that now you have their attention. They're just like, what do I think? I can see that some people are very much camp. Oh my goodness, he's the chosen one, and some people are very much camp. Like this,
Literally
is a
half
ruse.
and half with the suspicion.
And I think that now the Archfey is in this moment of like, I think I might have to make my own decision on this. So that being said, we will head over back to our other couple, who, you know, are going down a quieter route. They've found a corner to hide in with various people and telling some stories. And I have pulled for you the 4 of spades.
Oh, okay.
So,
Acting one of the face cards, cat.
I'm sorry.
Like, where is it? Where is it? For
Game,
us.
let me speed run.
Okay, I'm ruining the speed run. I'm completely ruining it.
Oh, you drew the 4 of queens, 4 queens.
4 queens.
All 4
4
queens. I
queens.
just drew them. You have to do all of the marital trials.
Speed run.
So, okay.
Run the queens.
Answer me this briefly, then, I suppose. Because this gets you nothing unless it makes you more affectionate towards each other. So think about the last time you lied or did something dishonest, literally 2 minutes ago. Blurt it out to your spouse. How is it any different from what the 2 of you are doing now? So potentially something that you did dishonest to each other. Maybe you're all telling stories. Maybe this story just sort of comes out. But tell me what it is, or who do you think is the one that ends up blurting it out first of all?
I think it might be eventually.
Repeat the question one more time just to make sure that I like.
So
Think
you
of it.
think about. So it says think about the last time you lied or did something dishonest.
Okay.
Blurt it out to your spouse. How is it any different from what the 2 of you are doing now? And my suggestion was that perhaps because you're in this together as being dishonest, but as a unit, perhaps it's something dishonest that you did to the other. So it was like, oh, I lied to you about this, or I when I told you this, I actually did this, or whatever. But it's like would be a bit more of a shock, I guess, or I don't know. But that's just a suggestion. You can make it whatever you want.
Okay. I'm trying to. I have something, but I'm trying to like think of the specifics for it.
You got this.
When we first started speaking, I told my mother that you were a part of the French monarchy.
I'm sorry, you did what?
They were really big fans of my parents, so I wanted to impress.
But I work in their court.
But
Do they not remember me, my dear?
they know of a Kamal, and there may have been a blending of the 2 personalities, and I didn't think to correct until far later. Sorry.
So they believe that I'm a
Not
French
anymore.
monarchist.
Not anymore.
Okay.
But for a while, you remember in the beginning when she used to do like the very grand sweeping like curtsies? That was Teresa White. Now it's more
Is
a bit
that-
more like a bow thing. Yeah, that's not good.
Is that why she suddenly took an interest in French mortal desserts during our engagement party?
Yes. I'm so sorry. I just didn't think the correct term. So sorry.
No, it's quite all right.
He's just so
It's fine
intimidating.
now. It's fine now. I'm mostly surprised that they did not remember me from their own court. That's all right. No harm done. No harm done at all, my dear. I'm glad that they do not think that I'm French.
Yes. I'm happy that we definitely moved past that.
I that I mean, bad enough. We have a mortal here named Brian.
And now we have to
Let's
deal
Oh,
with, I
Brian.
think we had to deal with the French. Ugh.
and the French. That would be dastardly. No, I don't think that would entertain the Archfey at all.
What I'm gonna do as facilitator, I've just decided that I have this power now.
Okay.
I think because the two of you are like you're kind of telling these stories and you're kind of relaxing into it a bit, and it's like almost become like just a montage of your various memories and leaning into like the friendship side of things rather than like more of the political machinations. You're kind of relaxing a bit.
This
And
is
I
now a Meg Ryan romantic movie, and I'm happy for everyone.
I think that it's actually having a really interesting effect on the people that are listening. Like, whereas everyone was telling stories before, now they're just completely wrapped up in like just the two of you, because they never really get to see. The two of you are known for your sort of like your sharpness, your ambition, your coldness, and they're just watching the two of you like kind of like laughing and just having this like, oh, do you remember when this happened? And
Do you remember when my mom thought you were French?
they've never ever seen this before. So I'm going to award you another affection token as you're kind of like drawing into this, and I'm also going to award you a plot token because I think that this is advancing your kind of like lie of we're a couple and we're together quite considerably. Just because I feel like you've been in this little like corner with these people for so long that I'm like, it's gotta have something. It's gotta do something.
We're just chilling here.
Yeah, you're just chilling here.
We're just chilling. We're having a great time.
All right. Speaking of, 2 of spades for our lovely Gaskin.
Big leagues.
And Anne. Where? Yeah, big leagues.
Big two.
What do you? Okay. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this prompt actually, because you probably would know. But I guess what do you think about each other's lives? It's saying what do you think about what your spouse does for a living, which in this is like noble and noble, but I don't know what I guess what do you think about each other's lives in what you've kind of talked about?
So it's been established that Brian, I view this as a bit of like cultural exchange, like the mortals do things. This is more, and Brian just like teaching Ellie about like stuff. Ellie also like doing the same, right? So I think that Brian kind of
cutting you off a little bit. I don't know if that's doing that for anyone else, but it's cutting out off a little bit every so often.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's doing that. In any case, hopefully it's just my
it's kind of
silly Furbit.
Seems better now.
Okay. It might just be my headphones. That Brian has inadvertently motivated Ellie more because, like, in a lot of ways, she is now curious about the mortal world, and she's like, I want to go there. But you have places where you ride really dangerous contraptions really, really fast, and you call them roller coasters? That's so cool. You know, like, that cultural exchange.
I only did one though because I threw up afterwards. Sorry. I mean, why am I apologizing? You weren't there.
Right. So I think for Ellie, just it's not even necessarily like the noble part of the story that she's just like, okay, like actually the mortal world sounds really cool. I really have to get out of here now because Fey nobility is kind of stuffy. So that's the vibe, at least for Ellie. And I don't know, she like starts to admire the information that she's getting from Brian, right? Of just like, wow, that place is actually sounds so cool.
That sounds like affection to me.
Yeah. I think Ellie doesn't ascribe to a lot of like what Faye would think is attractive or cool. I like there is definitely an element of fiction here, but I think she genuinely just likes Brian, and that's why she puts so much effort into making him look good. I think deep down she just genuinely likes Brian. So she's not like typical Faye.
Not like other girls.
Not like other girls. And I don't know how Brian feels, but about like learning about Fae nobility.
I think it's like, I mean, regardless of all, magic is real. There's someone with flaming hair just around the corner. Who's giving him side eye, obviously. But I think it's just a fascinating look into like the idle rich, I guess, for Brian. Like he's just like, oh, we're just having a party just cuz. Like my cousin's wedding next week is the biggest social event of my life.
Fantastic.
So experiencing this where it's like, oh, you do this stuff like all the time. That's a speed I don't know if I could get on, but whoa, do you sure live it in high gear, man.
High gear.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Ellie lives fueled by espresso. Multiple shots of espresso at a time. That's the mood.
All right, so I think that like as you kind of reflect upon this, I have given you an affection token just because I think that just kind of that's something that you kind of admire about each other, I guess. Let's move back to our other couple. You're gonna be pleased to know I have finally drawn you a marital trial.
Let's go.
Is that the truth?
And while I was listening to that, I did also roll for you. It's dancing.
Yes.
So obviously a little bit you decided maybe you could hear all the hubbub around this other couple, around Lady Elizelle and this mortal. Perhaps it's time to stop being quiet in the corner and telling stories. Perhaps it's time to be a little bit more showy, be a little bit more like display yourselves as the couple in the room. This really odd song has just come on. It's like one that you've never heard before, but it's
Iris, but
very
Dolls.
Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. It is, but you wouldn't know that, of course.
Oh no!
It's a bit of a bop. It sounds like a good song to dance to. This is how this is going to work, and you can tell me if you think this is actually going to work. You're supposed to roll. You're supposed to play rock paper scissors 8 times, and then we count the amount of times that you come up with the same symbol.
Okay.
That's how it's done in the book.
Okay.
However, if we feel like that might be a bit overly complicated, what we could do is we could roll a d8 8 times and count.
cat disappear for anyone?
Yeah,
Oh,
cat
no,
disappeared
speed
for a
run.
second. Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Yes, ma'am.
I just watched you all wink out one by one.
We
And
saw
the
you wink out.
The first person disappeared. I was like, "Oh no, we've lost Ava!" And then, as you all began to wink out, I went, "Oh no, we've lost me." Yeah. All right. So, as I was saying, we could roll d8s 8 times and see the amount of times that they align as either an odd or an even number.
That might be faster.
Does that
I
sound
think.
better? I think that because I think that the rock paper scissors thing, especially if cameras are starting to go, might be a little bit too clunky. So roll d8s for me at the same time and just sort of give me your numbers, or just say
Okay.
odds or evens.
Oh,
Odd.
even.
Okay, so 0. Do it again.
Odd again.
Odd.
So 1.
Oh, the odd couple.
Even.
Odd.
It's not good so far. Okay, 1. Keep going.
Even.
Even.
Okay, 2.
Out of 4, right?
Even.
Even.
3 out of 5. Yep.
Odd.
Odd. Now we're on a roll.
Now we're doing it.
4 out of 6.
4,
Odd.
6. Yep.
Odd.
Odd again.
5 out of 7. And on your last one, roll one more time.
Even.
Even.
6 out of 8. Not bad.
Nice.
Started off,
Not bad.
I think it took you a little bit to get your footing there in your dancing, but the overall result
Masters of the slow burn.
We
you
really are.
feel like you've danced together a million times. What is it about this that's making the rest of the couple fade away? What gesture finally brings you back? What kind of excuses are you going to make to dance for much longer than you had originally planned?
Well, obviously, making it to keep dancing longer is for the people watching. But I think something that makes it so much easier is you gotta include a dip somewhere in that dance. It just makes it you want to just dance more. You have to dip somewhat.
Yes.
Yes. And I think the way that Kamal kind of like leans into this is that so he's wearing a very, very formal kurta. And he has this floral dupatta that kind of like flows from one shoulder off to the other. And he takes the sweeping part of this dupatta, this long sash that sits across his shoulder, and he pulls it up onto this other shoulder. And I think that like maybe the dupatta matches Evangeline's dress, like the colors and the print matches. I'm so sorry if you're hearing fireworks.
No, I haven't.
I could
heard
hear
it.
it, and I was like, "What?" I just
Oh.
thought it was like someone's mic being scratched against. That's what it sounds like.
No, it's
Oh.
Oh,
it's Lunar New Year fireworks. I am so sorry.
No, that's just proving how magical this moment is.
This is magical
This-
moment.
this is magical.
It's canon now. This is the moment that some fireworks start going off in the game. Never mind that it's a bright daytime sky currently.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
don't
the
worry
Fey realm.
about it. It's magical. It's Fae. We can do whatever we
Yeah.
want here.
But yeah, I think like as he dips Evangeline, the like dupatta like falls down and like drapes the floor, and it's this beautiful image as they're both
The
dancing. together.
fireworks go off. As you dip.
Yeah.
I think
So
the prompt gives you three affection tokens for that, which is wonderful. You do lose your plot token, and I think that comes from the fireworks. Maybe you're having this magical moment, but you dance for so long that you almost kind of over egg it in terms of like you overdo it a bit, and people kind of lose interest and start looking at the display around you. They're not you know, you haven't done it enough that's interesting to them anyway, but it's more of like a moment. We're over half your affection tokens though, so equally as suspicion is being aroused by this Archfey who's kind of watching Elizel and her mortal kind of walk across the room, and is kind of just occasionally like leaning into the advisors at this point. Definitely attention has been aroused. This Archfey does look at the two of you, and there is a moment of a slight eyebrow raise. Nothing else is said, but it's just this moment of just like, these two might be a couple that have been escaping notice because of the attention. I am gonna just come out and say, because possibly they've been speaking and I haven't heard. I've just realised on the screen in front of me, Anne's camera is not there. Like, you all came back, but Anne didn't for me. I might have to, for the attention of the producer, quit and come back in.
I don't think Anne can hear you either.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I
gonna
can-
have to
I can
probably
hear.
Just, like, quit
I-
the call and
Okay.
come back in.
I
'Cause I
heard-
think it's just where I disappeared for a moment earlier, and it's not fully put me back. So I will be 1 moment. All right.
Yeah, it's on Cat's side here.
Yeah.
It's me. It's very me.
Hi, Cat.
Oh my gosh, this game is hysterical. Like, y'all should enter the giveaway. Oh my god.
Cause I don't think that they'd
No, but
understand.
It's a string quartet. No one's singing. It's just instrumental. Also,
Brian's singing for us.
Woohoo.
also enter the giveaway chat. Exclamation mark, enter
Exclamation mark,
this way.
enter, to
This way,
enter the
in the
giveaway
chat.
for this amazing game. And now that we're all back on track and I can hear what Anne is saying and Anne can hear me and we're all, and it's fine. That's great. Okay. So with that being said then, so you've smashed that marital trial, first of all, so well done. Well done. That was the King of Hearts as well, by the way, very apt. Let's move back then to Brian and Elizel and see how they're getting on. I have drawn for you the 2 of Hearts. So
Big two.
is it? Pick something about your spouse. And I think just in a moment like of role play, just I guess one of you maybe or both of you can casually mention something that you've kind of picked up on about your other half, your paramour, that perhaps they didn't realize that you'd noticed, or it's surprising that it's just something that you thoughtlessly mentioned of just like, oh, because you're like this, and then they're like, oh, people don't know that about me. How do you think that comes about?
Let me have a think. I'm sorry, my brain is just like,
You're absolutely fine.
I mean,
I don't know. Do you have any
maybe
ideas,
during
Gus?
the fireworks. I feel like since fireworks are such a normal thing in the human world as well, it's like, whoa, I have a touchstone here. Me, Brian. I know what's going on.
So I know what this is.
Yeah, I know what this is. We can watch them, and that's a fun thing that people do, right? You just look at them and you just kind of stand very still and look at them, and you don't have to talk or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think because it's like a wind down moment after like trial and like bumbling start, this is our first time to like slow down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just like looking up, there's a few like just offhand comments mentioned at each other. Like, I think Brian definitely does notice that Ellie wants to go human realm and like see the sights rather than just like to get out of the Feywild. And like tells her about firework parties that he's been at in the mortal realm. Yeah, and I think he just says like, yeah, and don't worry, you'll be able to like organize so many of them because you're like really charismatic like that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't. I actually really love these, so I'm glad that they have them in the mortal realm. Yeah. So you think they'll have them at that wedding? Keep talking about, because I think that would be really
Yeah,
fun.
for sure. Also, there's like mini versions that are like these things called sparklers that you can hold on to, but not for too long. Not for too
Wait,
long.
fireworks? Fireworks you can hold in your hand. That seems
Yeah.
dangerous. I like it.
Okay. We'll get some of those then.
Okay.
These two are actually so cute. All right, I am going to dole out an affection token for you. I just give it to you because that was a moment. That was a cute little moment right there.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, let's draw four. Let's draw four.
Yes.
The Four of Queens.
The
Queen of
four
Clubs.
queens.
Queen of Clubs. It's a face card.
A face
You're
card!
getting
It's
another marital
time!
trial. Let's roll.
Let's go!
Let's do this. Okay.
Yas, queen of clubs.
Okay.
The
Oh my
fireworks are
god.
getting more
What?
violent over here.
Someone just yas queen. Okay, let's.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Number 2, teamwork makes the scheme work. It's just like the most perfect title for the two of you that I've ever heard in my life. There's an opportunity that requires skills from each member of the partnership, an exact crossroads between strategic strengths. You can't move forward on your own. You have to each bring something to the table. So decide what it is, then roll 2d8. I mean, do you have an idea in mind of what it could be?
I'm pretty open.
Just finished
personally.
this dance. The fireworks are going, and they're maybe just kind of like finishing off. This is your moment to do something. It could be, people are kind of like gathering around. It could be to these. I can imagine that perhaps these advisors that have been kind of like swarming at the ear of this Archfey might have been sent out into the crowd to kind of gather more information about the couples. And you can see that, seeing as so many people are gathered around the fireworks, maybe one of them is sort of alone or is kind of observing from afar. If you wanted to approach them or talk to them or do something else, then perhaps this is an opportunity to do so.
I think we can definitely lean into one of the common history we have is that we do a lot of like charity events, so doing a lot of schmoozing to get people to donate or whatever have you. So we can definitely lean into that, but how to do so, I'm not sure.
From that shared background, in my if and feel free to let me know, if my assessment is incorrect. But it feels like Evangeline's heart is in. There's a sincerity in the affairs that you take up, even though it is a lot of charity for your family and a thing that you do as part of your duties. There is a sincerity that Evangeline does carry for those events. Not to say that Kamal is not sincere, but I think like his particular strength is being far more like politically surgical. So whereas you're able to kind of like hammer home the true belief and the love and the the sincerity of whatever we need to do, it is Kamal that usually kind of is like, let me open that little door and Evangeline, go, knock him dead.
Yeah,
Sort
essentially
of
you like come in
situation.
with the pitch, and then
Mhm.
Evangeline comes in with what is actual, like what is the end
Mhm.
product. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think, yeah, if you're okay with that,
yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. So I think
Oh,
Kamal will, if with Evangeline's permission, like hold out an arm for you to take and hook around, and he will saddle on up to one of these advisors who's definitely got their eye looking about the place because he
I
sees an opportunity.
need you both to roll a d8 to see
All
how
right,
well
which
this
one?
goes.
Which one? You? Will you behave? Will you behave for me?
Talk to your dice.
do not fuck with me. All right.
I rolled a 4.
4, okay.
I rolled a 7.
Hey,
Rolled a
didn't
7.
fuck
Hey,
with
that's
me.
Hey.
an 11, right?
Threaten your dice.
You just about made it. You just about made it into the best.
Threaten
best
your
possible-
dice.
It goes perfectly. And your synchronicity and shared power is intoxicating. Describe what new compatibilities the two of you have discovered. And you will be getting some treats, some tokens for this. So I will add those while you have a think about that.
Kamal approaches this advisor and he says, Arch-advisor, what an incredible opportunity to have finally meet you here, surrounded by all these incredible peers of ours. Have you met my wife? Ed just immediately like gestures over to Evangeline to like schmooze her way forward. He just like delicately brings you forward, Evangeline, to take the spotlight as you so well deserve.
With so much kindness, Evangeline goes into this spiel of a new venture that she is in the works on, and it's an academy of establishing brilliant minds to go forth and be more advisors to the world out of just the fond respect that she has for the advisors to this Fey being. Just touches her soul so much and knows that there can be more opportunity to show the might and the magnificence of all these courts to the world if we just tap into that potential.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And the two of you get to I guess that you get to see, maybe you already knew that these things existed within the other, but you get a real appreciation, I guess, for what the two of you bring in a match. Like an actual match, like what you bring as a team. You are a team. By the way, you're one affection token off.
We can't let them fall in love.
We can't let them fall in love.
So you are basically, I feel like as this is going, like Evangeline, you're watching and Kamal have this like schmoozing like introduction, and you just have this real like, he's good at this. He's so good at this. And it's kind of one of the things that you like hanging around with him about, because maybe you struggle to make those initial introductions. You come across as quite cold and distant to a lot of people. And he does a really good job of just being like, no, look at the qualities of this amazing person who does these amazing things. And you kind of I'm not going to use the L word, but you really strongly like that about him.
I could actually be married to this person, but it would be for political gain and fond respect.
Yeah.
For sure. I think Kamal is like thinking the same way as well, where he's like observing the both of us, the way we interact, and he like literally, in true like rom-com fashion or like romantic drama fashion, where there's a snippet of imagination of what this partnership could mean, and Kamal is just like, oh, we could destroy people together.
Yes.
Like there is no court that could ever stand against the both of us if we are able to bring this energy to every single thing we go for.
Yeah.
But Kamal also has that question of like, is that even what Evangeline wants. You want freedom, not
From my mom, not from absolute power.
not from the court.
She still likes the benefits.
All right,
Wow.
good. All right, so this is still a realistic thing to want.
It's so realistic.
All right, so you are very, very close. You are very, very close to reaching what we call a boiling point in this game. You've not really aroused any suspicion at all. You've not really like caught the attention of your fellow court or the other couples in the room, apart from that one teeny little corner that have learned so much about you in your life. But you've definitely like this kind of like this Archfey is watching you so closely as you talk about this, and I think that the questions that the advisor's giving you is very like, so is this, you know, the boon that you would request of, should you win, should you be lucky enough, like is this what you would request of the Archfey, like a way of kind of like doing all this amazing charitable work that you do, and is this what you would ask of them? What is it that you, and it kind of does that thing that they do in the film. What is it that you want?
I think Evangeline would just say, I have been fortunate in many things, but one thing that I hold so much cherished thought to is my beloved husband here. And without him, I would not have been able to make it so far. So, if we were to offer a boon, all of the energy of my boon, I wish to give to him to ensure that all of his dreams can come true.
And I only want for my wife's dreams to be made true and to come to fruition.
A bullshit not
Just
answer.
notes down. Have no idea what they want.
Boring.
Bark. I love that in the chat. Okay, so let's draw then. Let's head back over to the fireworks are going. All right, let's head over and see what's going on.
Another big 2.
Another big 2? Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
It's not. It's the 6 of diamonds.
That's 3 2s on 1, baby.
Hey. All right. I'm gonna find ways to probably award tokens as we go with these ones that don't have tokens that come with them. What new social circles has the marriage opened up? What kind of spaces would you have never moved through if you haven't met them? I feel like this one has a pretty obvious answer for one half of you, at least. I don't know. Maybe it can be talked about in terms of still having this conversation under the fireworks.
You know, things have been a little hectic lately, and I haven't had the chance to check up on you. Like, how is this whole thing being in this realm? Like, you're pretty far from home. Like, how are you doing, Ryan?
I mean, it's pretty cool, yeah. We've got... I don't know, it's... I mean, hopefully only temporary, so if we can do this. But hey, once we get back, I can introduce you to everyone at home.
My turn to be in a different realm that I'm not used to, so you could probably have fun being the way that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we go to my cousin's wedding, you know, it's gonna be huge, you know? There's gonna be at least like 30-40 people there that you can get to know. And I'm sure you'll make some friends.
I know this whole place, and Ellie kind of just gestures around her, can be a lot. So I just wanted to make sure you were doing okay. And getting into places and situations that are different. I just wanted to check up on you, make sure you were okay. Can't win this without my guy. my special guy.
Your guy is doing just fine for now. I mean, I'm still not like, I can't even say if there's, like, a tap-out point for me, because I'm not sure how time works here. Like, as
Don't
soon
think
as I
about it.
tried to check my watch, it melted like one of those paintings of clocks, you know?
We just don't think about it. When you ask about time, the weirder it gets.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay. I won't think about it too much then.
Yeah. By the way, I am
Mhm.
sorry about the fountain incident when we went to that one party last week. Um, fairy parties can get a little crazy. Um, I promise.
No, it's okay.
I
That's
didn't.
why I
I didn't
always
mean
travel
that.
with a spare change of clothes, you know?
Yeah, I didn't mean to get that really weird purple water splashed onto your shirt. It just gets really wild at those parties.
No,
So
I think
my
I've
bad.
shrunk about like 2 inches because of it, but I think I'm okay other than that.
Yeah, no, it's a classic Feywild party thing. It's like you know the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
So there is a fountain of youth. I don't know where it is. If you try looking for it, it just keeps moving. I don't think you're
Yeah.
supposed to find it in the Feywild. But so us young Fey have a fountain as well, but it's the fountain of randomness. So they have it in the middle of the party, and if the liquid in the fountain touches your person, random stuff happens. It just makes parties interesting. So I'm sorry that you lost 2 inches, but
No,
I
no, no,
feel
it's great.
I've
Everyone came around and was chanting Short King at me, you know?
yeah. Well, I mean, it could be worse. There was an instance of one girl like losing half her hair. So yeah.
Like in a cool like side shave, or was it like a monk situation where it was only the top half?
I mean, it ended up looking really cool in a side shave kind
Okay.
of way, but like, and the one guy who just lost a shoe randomly, that I accidentally splashed him with the fountain water and he just lost a shoe. So, you lose different things at different parties. It's really fun. Anyway,
All
I'm
right.
sorry about that.
As you are having this conversation, it feels like a very like sincere conversation between the two of you, and it's something that maybe you've never seen before. Is just Ellie actually being kind of apologetic about something and meaning it and enjoying this moment. Having a really sincere conversation in which you're kind of awkwardly bumbling around each other. You don't really seem quite in sync, and what's more, you're talking about how you're a little bit excited about going out of the Feywild and being away from here, and you can't wait to win this so that you can do that. And it only then, Ellie, that you notice in the corner one of these advisors with a clipboard and a quill has been taking notes furiously. Literally, you have caught attention as a couple with
Plus
mortal.
5 suspicion.
You
Just like
definitely have earned some suspicion. Every single time during that conversation, you said something really incriminating.
No, I saw it going up. I have the live feed on the left side of my screen.
Just for fun. But I did give you affection as well. So the two
I
of you
will.
are kind of
Ellie,
getting on a lot better. But you're definitely raising suspicion. And I think that like as you catch eye with this advisor, they kind of like finish writing their notes, and they tap their cheek with their quill, and they kind of just go, huh, and then just sort of straighten up and walk away before you can
Kick his ass!
before you can like straight back to that Archfey. They don't immediately start talking to them though, but they're kind of still like making notes and kind of just putting them together. And this Archfey's attention is very much focused on the couple that are not really massively paying attention to the fireworks right now. They're kind of dancing and having a really nice time with each other. It is your nemesis, or at least your family's nemesis. You are from rival families. I like to imagine that the two of you have never really interacted. It's really just been
That's
both
okay.
sets of parents.
So-
Our moms hate
"We
each other."
hate them."
So,
Oh, yeah.
Brian, I don't actually understand why my family's so weird about their family. I just, I've never even talked to anyone from their family. I'm just supposed to not like them. But actually, I've never met that. I never met that
rival
lady before.
charitable cause.
Like,
Who is doing
literally,
the most
I have no
charity?
idea who that is.
All right.
My
and then
mom
let's-
just
let's
really
then-
hates her mom.
let's then head back. And again, I am going to take advantage of my facilitator role here. Obviously,
Aw.
for everyone here that is watching, normally you would play this game, you would just draw cards, you would just be in two pairs. You wouldn't have a facilitator or a GM that's kind of like running the game. And it's a really fun game to kind of do with as much or as little role play as you like. However, what I have decided to do is I'm going to put you each up against one more marital trial. And then we're going to head to results, and we'll see what the highest values you have are. And we will base the sort of like endings for your
Ooh,
characters on that.
suspicion. Let's go.
Let's do that. So let's roll.
Hey, if we're gonna like max out on a pool, it'll be suspicion. We're gonna make this
It
messy.
could absolutely be suspicion.
I would be very shocked if we maxed out on anything but affection. We are all right there.
We're right there. We're so close.
Gas-
Please.
Gaskin and I are making this messy. To blow this up.
Okay. So for I've rolled, and so I rolled a duel for Kamal and Evangeline.
Okay.
Duel.
A duel.
Between us?
It could be between so here it actually says if you're playing with 4 players, then it comes from the other pair.
All right.
What I think I would potentially like to interpret this as
Oh my
Okay.
gosh,
is that you
Brian.
Kamal, you look up and you this advisor you're having this schmoozing conversation with this advisor. You're just thinking, we are amazing as a partnership. We are clearly the
Yes.
most dedicated people in the room. Who could possibly beat us? And then you see 2 people
Fucking Brian.
fucking Brian. And they're having a conversation, Brian and Elisel, and they look like they're really enamored. They look like they're really into it, and you can see an advisor taking notes, and you're like, I fucking had it. I will not have this title stolen. Now the 2 of you are rolling to see. Well, I will allow it to actually, if you want to choose, rather than rolling to see who takes up the duel. But it doesn't have to be a duel with swords and weapons. I will also point that out. It could be a duel of the mind.
I think it would be really funny if it was a duel of swords and weapons.
I also think it'd be really funny because we're both not swordsmen.
And
I also think it would be funny if Brian was the one that did it.
so then if I feel like perhaps then I'm going to change it. The advisor that is taking notes on you essentially gives the 2 of you, Elizo and Brian, this whole spiel about you've attracted quite a lot of attention around here.
That's a good thing, yeah.
But with that has come, people are really questioning, myself included.
And that's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah. I think that, and there's a lot of attention on Lady Evangeline, of course, and
That's not a good thing.
her paramour. No, that's not.
That's good. That's bad.
I think that if you were to, if you were to make a stand, make a challenge against that, really show them up, then perhaps my liege might feel differently about the way that the two of you are presenting yourselves currently.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah.
I will use random fey magic to conjure up a sword that is almost as big as Brian.
Being the chosen one.
I make it look like he magically conjures up a sword, and I just make him.
God.
I, as a fae, use my magic to conjure him up the coolest looking.
You, as a fae,
sword.
are trying to trick another fae.
No, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying
to trick them.
I'm just trying to trick Brian into thinking he has fae magic.
Oh,
so
you're
he
tricking
can...
Brian. That's adorable.
No,
Okay.
I just I want Brian to look and feel cool. Like duel?
Brian is gonna run over and do this, to challenge. All right then. In which case, who are we challenging? Roll a d8 each for me, Evangeline and Kamal.
Oh.
Hey man, do one of you want to fight?
Oh my god.
Do one of you want to fight? I roll a 6.
It's so funny.
Are you talking more
They're
like
sleeping down there.
a duel of minds or a...
I got a sword, I think, so I think it has to be a sword duel, if that's okay.
Have you rolled d8s? Who's rolled?
Yes.
What?
Ellie,
You rolled a 6.
Ellie makes the sword glow.
What did you roll, Ava? A 2. It is allegedly the person who rolled lower is the one that's insulted by Brian, maybe by accident, but
just by hearing his
some way
name,
by
like,
Brian.
hey,
And the one
Brian.
that rolled
I would really
higher
be honored
is
if
the
you guys
one
could fight
tasked
me.
with defending their honor. So, I mean, do with that what you will, but essentially, Brian, you're going to make your way over. You're going to somehow insult Evangeline, and Kamal, you are going to have to defend Evangeline's honor. And you got, what did you say, a 2 and a 6?
Yes.
A 2 and a 6, so that's an 8. Okay.
Hey guys, I think I need to fight you guys, and I think that's a good thing. If that's all right.
You
Hi,
think?
I'm Brian. I'm Brian Mibler, by the way.
Do you think or do you know?
I was told.
So you were told.
Yeah.
Weak. Absolutely
Oh,
weak.
Evangeline, my dear, allow me. And I think Kamal will remove his dupatta and hold it out like
Yes.
ye old knights who would hold a cape as well as a sword for when they fence and brawl and duel. So he holds out his dupatta, and I think he carries ceremonial swords.
Yeah.
That's never really been used. He is not a fighter. I need the audience to understand.
I
He
think
is
Evangeline
not.
knows this as well, for sure.
Evangeline's gonna bless it. We're good. We're
Yay!
good. It's getting
Oh.
blessed.
Ellie,
I can be real.
Ellie,
I can be real gay about this. Hold on, I can be real gay about this. Kamal holds out his sword and scabbard and holds it up to Evangeline and says, "I take your leave for this duel."
You take my leave, and with my blessing and with my love, please make him suffer.
Oh, you know what? I just read as well. If I could get we can do this as a combined marital trial and have this as being
Oh my
the final
God.
thing.
Yeah.
If I could get just to see who wins and who loses. So if I could get d8s rolled by Gask and Anne as well.
You got it.
Oh, wait, that's good, right? Oh, yeah, that is
I
good.
got an
I was
8.
like, I got a 7.
Nice.
15!
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you're like, make him suffer, I go, oh, no, Ellie, do I
It's-
like hit hard or do I hold back?
It's actually described here as you go ape shit.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
somehow
So
in
in
ways
the background,
beyond your control, a real nerve is touched here. Describe the carnage and then the aftermath.
in the background, Ellie does fey magic that doesn't affect light, but she's trying to make Brian look more intimidating. Of just like, I don't know, shadow, make him look like he's this dark, intimidating presence. Maybe add 2 inches to his sword.
Hey, get ready to eat that sword, bitch!
Terrifying.
Starts getting really aggro for no reason, Brian.
This is a real like mortal man energy. That's
Yeah.
definitely like a
It's
little like,
toxic.
dude, what the hell? This
Meanwhile-
is meant to be an elegant duel. This
It's
is meant to be
dramatics!
elegant.
It's
What is
dramatics!
this?
It's toxic masculinity.
You're hitting the sword like it's a bat instead of an actual like combat weapon.
Yeah.
So you're the jeweler. I'm gonna get you to roll again, Kamal,
Oh.
to see if you win or lose. So basically, Brian is about to absolutely lose it on you. But are you
Yeah.
going to win, or are you going to be taken off guard and lose? That's a whole other
Okay.
thing.
I need you to behave. I need you to behave.
rolled an
please.
8.
Fuck! Don't say that. All the pressure's on me.
It's Kamal that's rolling, but I love
Oh,
that
okay.
for you.
Manifesting that good roll then.
8. I see you not.
Yay! Okay.
That's the power of being a power couple.
You good? Even my cat is excited, everyone.
The
Sure
cat
is.
is happy for us.
The cat is absolutely happy for you. Okay, so you do right, so you are going to win, okay? You are going to win. I think that this is going to be our like finale.
Yeah.
Just this duel between you, and this Archfey at this point is very locked in. And there's also something of like a glimmer of a smile. It's close. It's close. It's not quite there, but it's the closest that you've seen them to have any kind of emotion or expression on their face beyond boredom this entire time. They look locked in. They're ready to just see this like you duking it out. And yeah,
Brian is just
describe-
flailing wildly at you,
describe
yelling,
Brian
"Square
is
up!
flailing
Square up!
wildly.
Square up!
Brian will climb the
Square up! Square up! Square up!
smacking me. I think this isn't even like a badass like. I don't think this duel is elegant. I don't think it's badass.
Even though it was like a 15 versus a 16, no.
No. It's just weird and like intense because I feel like our characters' energies are just like we're
Yeah.
not built for this. So it's just a lot of flailing, a lot of batting around swords.
If we didn't have the swords, it would be us going like,
Okay. Hear me out, okay? I think what
Okay.
happens while this is going on is that Ellie like steps next to like where Evangeline is and is literally just like, I don't get why our moms hate each other. But hey, I'm Elazelle. I thought I would like formally introduce myself because I think our moms are. I think my mom's being stupid because your family's actually really cool. Hi.
Hello, Evangeline. I also have no qualms with you, but I will say, where the hell did you find this one? There's something not right with him. I'm sorry, but there's something not quite right.
Yeah,
Is it just a human thing?
Just has
all be
really-
like this.
he just has a really bad temper. I'm not about to do anything about it.
Maybe take the therapy.
Kamal like defends himself, and like I think the only way he wins is that he throws his tupata over you, and it's just like this blanket, and he just like all over it.
What magic is this? Fairy sorcery!
All right.
Give him some
okay.
therapy.
Final tally.
You
So-
know, if this boon, definitely gonna go and get him some help afterwards.
Yeesh.
Yes, yes.
He's the chosen of the humans? Oh my god.
I mean, if you had all that pressure on you, wouldn't you have a tendency to snap?
I mean, I already do have pressure on me, but I don't snap like that.
Well, also, you're not humans. Imagine if you were a human chosen one.
Exactly.
All that
The
pressure.
stress
Yeah.
of being divine. Oh,
He's
All right.
he's just a guy, but he's my guy.
that's fair.
That's so cute.
Tornado death spiral!
Whoa!
Okay, I'm gonna give you the score. I'm gonna give you the scores on the doors now, everyone.
Oh God.
And I feel like I'm gonna just put it out there. You've reached 10 affection, Brian and Eliza. I don't know what it is about what Brian is doing right now, but it made you completely.
Oh my god.
Equally, Evangeline, watching Kamal, knowing that this is Kamal's great weakness is any kind of like fighting or conflict, but just immediately, without even thinking, he just dove in there to, really like defend you and stick up for you, and is now desperately trying to hold himself in this duel that he has absolutely no skill in whatsoever, all just to kind of really prove this affection for you. We've reached a boiling point for both of you with affection. One of you has a relatively good amount of plot and has you've allayed all suspicion. So the Archfey definitely is very suspicious of Brian and Elizel, and is very intrigued by Evangeline and Kamal. But I think more than anything, just watching this like ridiculous duel between the two of you, he just starts laughing, and it's like a proper like full bellied laugh that has the whole court just like looking back in shock and in horror. Not
cured
horror,
his
in like
depression.
wonder. Horror was completely the wrong word there.
Toxic masculinity is the cure for depression.
What I'm gonna get you to roll
Yerp.
for your affection. And
Okay.
then I will pick out an ending based on. So if I can get you both to roll d8s, and then we'll look at what the difference is.
Okay.
Oh, that is a 6.
Another 8.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go around. Sorry. Elizel, what did you roll? 6.
6.
And what did you roll, Brian?
8.
Big
So
number.
you have a difference of 2, okay, between you. Meanwhile, Evangeline, what did you roll?
A 5.
5. And what did you roll, Kamal?
A 6.
A 6. So you have a difference of 1. So both of you have done actually very, very well. In terms of what this means in your affection, your attraction to each other can no longer be denied. This is for both of you because you both fell within the same bracket. This is the least,
Just like both of you
This
sighing in the
isn't the least
sidelines,
sexy
like,
thing, but this is the thing that seems to have just sealed the deal in your
Not
heart.
this scene of me like flailing and running for my life.
And
Oh,
you
That's
oh
have
where
my
the
to
God.
do
yakety sax
something.
comes in.
Why am I
You have to do
imagining
something
Brian
about it one way or
chasing
another.
Kamal?
I want to know from each of you
Yeah.
what your the way that your your attraction and your like I guess your admitting to this comes about, how you would imagine it to happen. Is it sort of quietly off to the side, or do you imagine it happening like in this moment, or whatever? What does that look like? And then I will deliver the Archfey's final verdict upon you both.
I have something for Evangeline. The way that she comes about acknowledging this love is that she sees Brian just continue on his chaos, and she can take no more of this. So she charges forward and summons the family shield, and just like essentially like knocks Brian back to create some distance and finally get him to fucking stop. And then she just turns and tips Kamal and is like, "We'll take some fencing lessons together, my dear."
Kamal, who is like holding out his dupatta that's probably been torn up quite a bit thanks to Brian's flailing of a
Oh,
giant
for
great
Christ's
sword
sake.
at it. Yeah, certainly. And he like slowly still attempts to coolly drape it over his shoulders, but he smiles so warmly at you. Those bright eyes fixated on you, and this newness of affection that's burgeoning up between the both of us. And he just says, I would like that very much, my dear. Preferably to fend off any future chosen one mortals.
We can't all be this unhinged.
But of all the chosen one mortals that might just come about and just start flaming swords.
I would dive against any and each of them to defend your honor.
All right. Meanwhile, Elizel, your Brian, you're just a guy, has just been knocked to the floor by a celestial shield. What is going on? What is happening?
Yeah, I think Ellie just walks up and helps Brian out, like up, and like
Thank you.
okay, that was really cool.
Thank you.
I
I think
mean,
I
I've
bruised my tailbone at the end there, but yeah.
ooh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I've been to a lot of parties and no one's ever defended me like that, and you know, I honestly feel really lucky to have someone like that. So,
I mean, if
and
it
then
gets us to the mortal realm, let's go.
kind of see Ellie like lead Brian off to the side, and she has like an earnest moment. She says, just quietly when no one's listening, she says, I don't know how good of a job we're actually doing, but
Probably not good. I don't think.
but I promise you I will punch a hole through the Feywild to get us out of here if I have to.
That'd be cool.
And with that, this little pixie announcer comes running out, clearly been summoned. This Archfey is kind of like beckons them over, still laughing, and like whispers in their ear, and they kind of get up on this like big stage and like, attention, my royal liege has come to a decision. Everyone gather, and all these kind of couples start coming in. And first of all, they address Kamal and Evangeline, and they say, my royal liege states that it is clear to them, as it has been to anyone ever, that your love is true. Whether or not you knew it, there has been no end to the inspiration that my liege has gained from your affection, your dancing, your grace, your... I mean, that last jewel was a bit shaky, but grace for the most part, and kind of goes off on this really long sort of like monologue about how inspiring they are, and how they're going to award the boon to Kamal and to Evangeline. Then turns and says, there is one other matter we need to address. Lady Elizelle, and at this point the Archfey's face like kind of comes into this like very serious, almost
God, no.
like serious, almost angry look. And he goes, my liege made instructions very clear when bringing a partner, it is to be a true and committed love, and you have made a mockery of us all with tales of a chosen one and lies, slander. My liege is outraged, and all these like people around like outraged, like kind of echoing what's being said, and just absolutely horrified to be mocked in such a manner. Thereby, we decree that you and your mortal are to be exiled to the mortal realm indefinitely.
Ellie looks at Brian.
Woo! Feywild sucks!
Ellie looks at Brian and just gives him a high five.
Yeah!
Bye!
And I think as you kind of look back at this Archfey, very like pointed, very angry face, but we'll just give you a little wink. Like
Ellie.
a little like, because I think that this guy knew what was up. He was like, these two, but he got his advisor over and he heard your plans. You wanted to go, so he's made it happen.
Yippee!
So you are disgraced from the Feywild, but
Yeah!
Archfey is ally. And I think
Actually,
that
the affection, I like to think that the affection that has developed with Elizelle is like a best friend affection.
Oh yeah.
They are like solid bros, and Brian teaches
We're gonna fuck
Ellie
shit up
how to
together.
Brian teaches Ellie how to live a human life because she's exiled, but she's not mad about it.
she's ecstatic.
Dude, you're gonna
yeah,
learn so much, like commuting and yeah, commuting's a big
Tell
one.
me about the mouse, like the mouse and the roller coasters again. Those are really fun.
And
And there-
with that,
there are
I think that
actual
we'll draw our story to a close. Because we kind of gone a little bit over on time as well.
Sorry.
But no, you're good. To be fair, we started a little bit late, so that's fine. Amazing. I had so much fun. I hope you all did too, and you all got, I think, good endings, even though you were exiled. That was still a good ending for your couple. I am going to use this time now to one final reminder. We are running a giveaway for this incredible game. So if you want to enter and have a chance of winning, then !enter into the chat. I will be drawing once everyone has kind of gone round and said their piece. Now is the time for you to promote yourselves. Let's start with. I'll start with my players and end with me. Let's start this time. I'm going to go backwards. Let's start with Gask.
Hello, my name's Gaskinator, and the only thing I have to promote is myself. If you'll have me, you have me.
That's my guy.
That's my guy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Brilliant. I love it. Okay. Moving on then. Let's move over to Anne.
Hi. My name is Anne. You can find me on Twitter at exo_girlwonder. There's a pinned post with all the stuff I'm doing. However, in the next week, I'm just gonna chill in solidarity of Palestine and just promoting charity streams and stuff. So if you see a fundraiser charity stream situation, go support that, because I like the idea of using the power of this hobby that we all love to help support Palestine, because genocide is bad, y'all.
Excellent message, and very, very true. Let's move on then to Ava.
Hello, my darlings and dears. It's your Madam Ava here. You can find me anywhere at Madam Ava Couture. I'm still mainly on the Twitters because that bastard man has not kicked me off yet. For the meantime, you can find me tomorrow on the Exquisite Corpse Presents for Thirsty So Lesbian, where we play children from the King Arthur generation, and we're dealing with the ramifications of a war. On Thursdays, you can find me on Fusca's channel, where we are battling through Purgatory, and yeah, we're just battling through Purgatory. We'll see what happens from that. We're almost done. And otherwise, just follow my other my socials to see what I'm doing. And hey, it's Black History Month. Support the Black people that you know and love in your life. And once you're done donating to some drives for Palestine, slip some coins over to the Black people you love. Wink. It's February's almost done. Come on, give
Wink.
a look.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Val Dorian.
Hello, everybody. My name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all around the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And things to promote about me. Well, first of all, I had the distinct pleasure of playing Kamal, your cunning little minister here, who is not good at sword fighting. If you want to check out stuff that I'm in, I'm a TTRPG AP performer. You can find me on Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on Transplanar RPG, where I play Sayir, who is the misbeloved twin brother of the Chosen One. We get up to lots of chaos, lots of mess on the second campaign. Come and check us out literally tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you all there as chaos unfolds in the city of heaven. I'm also a brand new game designer. I'm designing my first ever TTRPG called The Beast Within. It is a narrative first action RPG reminiscent of 80s and 90s grunge fighting games where you play werebeasts. And if that's something you're into, you should go and check it out. The quick start guide was meant to be releasing at the end of February, but in standing in solidarity with Palestine, the release date is going to be moved probably to early March or mid-March to stand in solidarity with Palestine at this time. But please keep up to date with all my social media so you know when that's coming out. And I also have an upcoming show. If you're a TTRPG person, I want to talk to you on my brand new show called Dicey Banter, where I talk to TTRPG artists, performers, producers, folks of all sorts of backgrounds and knowledge bases within the TTRPG space. And I want to showcase your incredible work and your talent. So keep your eyes out for an application form going live in this upcoming week. And with that, thank you so much, Kat. Tell us about you.
Tell us about me. Hello, everyone. Oh, that was a great segue. I am Kat, the Law Mistress. I run this here channel. And you can find me on pretty much all social medias at Lawmistress93 or 93. And only on YouTube and here am I just the Law Mistress. I will not be streaming over the next week in solidarity with Palestine, but afterwards, I am still going to be spotlighting some two-player games. I have yet to have dates for many of them, but some of those games will include a game of Love is on the Cards with Nox, a game of Insatiable Cravings with Ghost Candle or Natalie, a amazing two-shot that I have planned with our beloved producer who is producing for us right now, Jen Burb, we are going to be playing Follow Me Down, which is an incredible game that spotlights the and I know that Val, because I did some research and I know that Val knows what this game is. It spotlights the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, and we are very, very excited to play that game, like beyond belief. Anyone who knows me knows the Greek myth and folklore shit is my jam, and I'm like literally so excited to play this game. Feathers and Bone with Ella Watts, and we're rescheduling with Kat Alicia Empanel, which is about queer pining and Morse code. So that is also super, super fun. With that said, what else do I do? I'm a writer, I'm an editor. I can also now put game designer in my bio. I have officially made a game for the 24-word RPG Jam, and I'm making more. Currently co-designing a game with Hatchling Games called Argonaut, which is literally sci-fi Greek mythology. Like I said, Greek myth is my jam. I will stop the plugging now because I feel like I went on way longer than everyone else. Yeah, I hope everyone has an incredible morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you right now. I hope that you enjoyed this fantastic game. I'm now going to draw for the giveaway and see who won. So let's have a little drum roll going. And it is Frail Gill! Frail Gill won this game. Amazing. Congratulations, Steph. I will get that itch code over to you because I do know this person, so I can do that. Well done. So with that, I guess we shall head out. Thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, pass in on the messages. Please stand with Palestine over the next week. Find ways to support them. Please, it is Black History Month. Find ways to support all of the wonderful Black creators within our community, because there are so many talented folks. And with that, I'm going to say cheerio to everyone, as I like to say at the end, much to everyone's amusement. It's just because I'm British. Bye!